Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. Hey, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and today we are diving into a very crucial topic that resonates deeply with our ongoing series, Healing Beyond Betrayal. But today we are focusing on the delicate dynamics of communication with preteens, an age where where trust and understanding start taking a more complex shape. And I'm thrilled to have with us Mr. M. Aurelius-Higgs, a seasoned family coach and therapist known for his profound impact on family communication. But first, let's take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll bring back Mr. Aurelius-Higgs with us to join the conversation, all right? It's your girl, you got it, Nyomi Banks here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, my beautiful souls, this is your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and I am excited to share something special with you. Introducing my latest ebook workbook, Healing Beyond the Betrayal, a journey of growth, empowerment, and renewal. In these 55 pages, I offer you insight, heartfelt stories, and practical worksheets designed to guide you on your healing journey. So if you experience betrayal or you are seeking personal growth, this resource is made just for you. You see, it's time to reclaim your power and embrace renewal. So you can get your copy by visiting the seasonofselflovepodcast.com. And as a thank you for being part of our community, use the code HEALED09 at checkout to enjoy a 15% discount. So let's embark on this journey together because you deserve to heal, grow, and thrive.
Hey, this is Dog Pound Mike from Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. Come check us out every week. And remember, I'm no relationship expert. I just tell it like I hear it from the kennel. Get back at it.
All right, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and today I am so thrilled to have with us Mr. M. Aurelius-Higgs with us. He's an expert family dynamics and adolescent development. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Nyomi?
I'm well. I'm doing well. I'm excited for this one because as we talked before we got on, I have a preteen, but I've been through it twice. Mm-hmm. And each time is different. So I'm excited for this, as well as I want to ask some questions with our series that's going on right now. It's called Healing Beyond the Betrayal as well. So I want to know what you do with the preteens, but also I want to kind of mix that in a little bit too, as we know, as when we're younger, we go through certain things in life that sometimes it's hard for us to get beyond a betrayal that kind of stop us from our growth or our self-discovery on self. So I thought this would be a great way to have you come in where we can start right there at the ground level of things.
Yeah. I'll follow your lead. You're the host. There we go.
All right, cool. All right, so before we start this off, what I want to do is I want to start to clear our minds first and set the right intentions for what is short guided meditation. All right. All right, so what I need you all to do right now is just get yourself in a nice, comfortable position. Find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down, and gently close your eyes. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Now exhale slowly through your mouth and let go of any tension that you might be holding on to. Now inhale deeply again, feeling your chest rise and your body expand. Now hold it for a moment. And now exhale, releasing any lingering worries or distractions. With each breath, imagine yourself becoming more centered and present. Now as you breathe, I want you to visualize a warm, glowing light above you. And with each inhale, draw this light down into your heart, filling you with warmth and calmness. Allow this light to spread throughout your body, relaxing your muscles and soothing your mind. Now take a moment to set your intentions for today's episode. What do you hope to learn or feel? Hold that attention close to as you breathe in and release anything that does not serve you as you breathe out. Now when you are ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing awareness back to your body. Now slowly open your eyes and carry this sense of peace and focus with you into today's episode. All right, well, thank you. Thank you for joining me, beautiful people out there, as well as you too, Mr. Mr. Higgs, Aurelius-Higgs. Is that what we're going to say? We're going to say Aurelius-Higgs today?
You call me Marcus, Aurelius.
Marcus? Okay, Marcus.
Marcus, it's all good. Yeah. You're right there, Marcus.
All right, okay, from there. All right, this is something, if you're new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, this is something that we do every day, Monday through Friday, to where, we help ground ourselves first before we get into our episode so we can be prepared and ready, and we set the intentions just like we did today. For you, Marcus, could you share with us a bit about your work and what inspired you to focus on preteens?
Yeah. So why preteens? I have a journalism background, communication, that I got. And right from then, I traveled to South Korea to actually be a missionary teacher. And so I was there, and then I taught in Spain, Saudi Arabia, and Thailand. And I worked in the classroom. And I say, I really do love people. Like, I sincerely love people, and I don't love your kids as much as you do. So these are the conversations I'd have with parents in parent-teacher meetings. And I transitioned out of the classroom to be with my aging parents and so on. However, still serving the world with the skills that I have, which is communication, and something that is near and dear to my heart. Yeah, kids. Mr. Rogers said, if you want to help the kids, you support the parents.
Yeah, I like
and,
that.
That's why I do what I do. And specifically why preteens? Because those are the formative years where we're gaining our understanding of life. When we go through stressors or changes, that's when we learn who we are.
Okay.
And this is one of the first identity breakings of our experience, going from dependent to independent, with those adolescent years. And if we can have an impact there, you can prepare them for the other stressors that are going to inevitably come. Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you this. What are some of the common challenges that parents face during this transformative years?
I should ask you, should sit at your feet. So what is going to happen? And let me know how it vibes with you. When they're going from dependent to independent, so During that dependent stage, there's that nurturing, holding you close up. You're seen, you're soothed, you're cared for, you're secure. Reaching independence, there's that push away. If you're going to have to do this yourself, you're still seen, you're soothed, you're safe, but I need you to understand that's with you. And you could, so we're moving into what I call autonomy supportive parenting. And you could look that up. It's, I respect you in your autonomy, and there's still boundaries in it, but I need a full expression of you. And you got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does happen, they're trying to figure out their own identity and these expectations that are on them, not knowing what it is, right? Who am I? And again, life is always asking us, who are you? So they're trying to figure out their identity breaking. C, it's collaborative mistrust.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, and this goes to your topic on Beyond Betrayal, but who do we trust?
Yeah.
Because think about it. Everything you've said to them up until this point was black and white. It was gospel.
Yeah.
It was your word. But now they're getting a whiff of other coaches, other parents, or other teachers. Nowadays, social media, and then their peers. So they're getting all these other different points of view, and they're just like, oh, I could believe something else.
Yeah.
And they don't know who to vibe with or who to trust in.
Yeah.
And then E is emotional management. Because biologically, they are dumped with a lot of, hormones, but then also the highs get high and the lows get low in regards to sensory details and so on. So they're out there trying to figure out, or they're gaining the pleasures of life, which is, it's just like, they have to test this, they have to taste that, they have to see what is, so that they can figure out who themselves are, who they are. And that's why the teenage years there, that's why the music still licks from that age. Whatever era you grew up in, your teenage music is still one that resonates with you. A lot is going on, and it's a part of the process. It's a part of the process.
Yeah.
I'll say this one last thing, Naomi. There's this book it's called The Breakthrough Years by Ellen Galansky.
The breakthrough years. Okay.
Yeah. She said when parents were describing kids or teenagers, adolescents, one common word that they used was immature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you think about it, we're expecting them to be adults or act as adults, and that's why I'm calling them immature.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you're speaking about a child or a toddler, you don't say they're an immature child. You don't say a child is an immature teenager.
Right.
It's like there's an expectation for this phase of life. And if they're living into those expectations, it's like they're going through their growing pains. They're going through what life is, and we're there to support them. They're not necessarily immature, but there is some growing they need to do.
Right. Yeah.
But let's respect that. When I say respect that, let's hold some compassion for that.
Right. Yeah. I like that. Also, when I read your whole profile, you have this, it's called Show Up Framework. And I was very intrigued by that Show Up Framework. So what I want to do is, because I do have a lot of parents that do have, children that are between the ages of 10 and 18, I believe that is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love for you to kind of break it down on what that show framework is. So I want to kind of dive in. So I want to start off with this one. We'll start with strong identity as the first component. Mm-hmm. So how does that help in healing and communication?
Yeah. So the Show Up framework it's really about being human, actually. That's what it is. And I say I work with the parents to put their oxygen mask on first. Mm-hmm. And the same principles I work with them it's how they work with their kid in their dysregulation. Mm-hmm. But all behavior comes from an identity. And we are the stories we tell ourselves, basically. And what I do is I start with virtues and values. And really what virtues and values are is, the virtues are with all people, all faith beliefs, whoever you are, you have virtues. Mm-hmm. To be human is to have virtues. And this comes from positive psychology. VIAs, virtues in action, you can look this up. They're with all people, but there are 5 that are expressed mostly with everyone. There are 5 that are uniquely yours. Things such as creativity, such as leadership, determination, something like that. And then values are what's important to you. Could be finances, could be family, could be friends or fun. Like everybody has values. When you can see a person's virtues and their values, you're speaking a relevant message that's relevant to them. You're speaking to their identity. Mm-hmm. And that's when they feel seen. And it's just like, oh yeah, we say, once I did bad, heard it forever. Twice I did good and heard it never. Like, let's speak life to what we want to see, because people move towards our expectations. Mm-hmm. And if you meet somebody in that, like, they'll meet you where they'll move towards your expectations, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. So moving to whole space. I like this one. Mm-hmm. Moving to whole space, collaboration, open up communication. It seems to be very, very crucial when fostering that understanding. So can you help us, sister out?
I got you. I mean, it's just a moment, but I'll do what I can. Yeah. Oh man. Well, not having that much context, but mm-hmm. I'll see what I can say. Whenever we're going through stressors, life is about stress.
Yes.
To live is to be stressed, but then there's a stress that come out of the blue, and then to expand, if we want to grow, mm-hmm. we're going to go through some stress. When kids go through it, or especially adolescents, before they have lived experience, they're thinking, what's wrong with me? And you want to tell them, hey, baby boo, nothing's wrong with you. Like, life is lifing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And let me hold space for collaboration and critical thinking to help you think through this. That's when kids are thinking, what's wrong with me? And you say, nothing's wrong with you. Let's talk about this together. We'll come up with, you actively listen to understand from their perspective. You give some insight and you say, let's solve this together, and I'll support you along the way. And then you move forward and you try the solution for a time, and then you revisit it.
Yeah.
It's called collaborative problem solving, but this is what life is. We're here to support each other.
Yeah.
And some people don't get that. But,
yeah. It's funny because I have three girls, 10 years apart. So we're like, three of them 10 years apart. So with my first one, I was a 19-year-old mother. So, with that one, she was growing with me. So I had no tools, no skills, no anything really in her preteens before in her preteens. With my second baby, now I've known because, I kind of, use her as.
What is that? You said, sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, but what? Say what? Rehearsal. Hold on. I'm the last of 4 boys, and I always tell my older brother, kids are like pancakes. You get to throw out the first one. But
and
you gotta say sorry. You was doing the best you can. I mean,
I was doing the best I can. But then my second one, I kind of took whatever I thought that I did wrong with the first one. I made sure that the second one had every and all, and even my ear. The first one didn't have my ear as much back then. She has it now, but back then she didn't have my ear to where I wasn't allowing her to have a voice. And as you say, I wasn't holding space. So I would tell her, it was like more of, you got this, you just gonna do it, you can do it, and that's it. There was no explanation to it at all, or what. It was just like, let's go, we gotta get it, we gotta, do this. To where the second one, I was more with the gloves on, with the kid gloves on with her. And I was holding, now let me say this, and maybe you can help me out with this. I was holding space with her. Okay. I was holding space with her, and I was listening to her. But what she told me a few years ago is that even though the words that I was speaking to her were positive and speaking into her, she still felt pressure from those words that I was speaking into her, because she thought that's who I wanted her to be. So when you had spoke earlier about us putting things, I didn't realize that I was doing that. I thought that I was speaking positive into her and allowing her to grow to where she was, but she didn't receive it as that. She received it. That is where I wanted her to go to be. Now, this third one, This last one that I'm holding space with. Remember that saying when they say your mom, when they tell you you're gonna get what you gave your mom like 10 times.
Yeah. It's all coming back now.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I understand it and I see it and I laugh about it. And times are different. If you think
Yeah.
about it, I had a baby in
Yeah.
91, I had a baby in 2002, you know, and then one in, so these times are different to where now there is more influences on TV, on internet. You know, this is where, like you said, this is where the trust kind of, you know, kind of goes away or thins out because now they have other influences from other people. So when you are
Mhm.
talking to her, and you know, I'm talking to her, and she looking at me like, but that's not what they said on the internet. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
what are you watching? So then I go in and I see what she's watching, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hear what they said and I see what they're saying. But it's like, is sometimes it's that missing bridge, or missing part of a bridge to
Mm.
go across to be able to communicate or really hold that space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like truly hold that space and have that conversation with her when, you know, I came up in this time. And even though I spent majority of my career in front of a camera, you know, to where
Mhm.
my looks is very important, but
Yeah.
also she see me in my ugliest. Well, what people would
Mhm.
think of my ugliest in my purest of fun. And I always try to teach all three of them that about being authentic in, but you can always beautify yourself when you want to. It's like, how do you, especially in this days of time, when influence, how do you hold space with, especially women, especially young girls, especially women?
Mm.
How do you hold space with them when there are millions and millions of other influences that are out there that tell them something differently than what you speak or what you hold space for as a parent?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a that's a challenging question, and I'm up for the challenge.
Mhm.
Um, I'll preface this with a book. It's called Untangled by Lisa DeMont. It's talking about the special challenges that a girl has when she goes through um, adolescence, right?
Mhm.
Because, man, there's another book called The Anxious Generation. And this last daughter was grown up in the internet age, social media. And the vicious thing about social media is it affects girls more than boys.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how. Um, Women, their commodity, not commodity, but their currency is reputation and image.
Yeah.
And on the internet, it's easy to destroy somebody with a story, especially when they're not there to defend themselves, and plus when context isn't given.
Yeah.
So that's when, like I said, we are the stories we tell ourselves. Try not to live in the stories of other people, because other people are trying to tell stories about you. And it's just like,
Yeah.
how do you, if you can know who you are, Dolly Parton said it beautifully. He said, figure out who you are and do that on purpose. Yes. And then people are going to misunderstand you, not knowing the whole story. People are going to say things that people are going to have their own stories.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to live into the lives into the way of other people. Now, that's hard to do when this is your first time coming into this. When I say that, I mean meaning as a young
No.
girl,
Mm-hmm.
as a 12-year-old. You know, there are unique challenges for this age and this generation. As a parent, trust is built back over time, and this comes back to the theme of beyond betrayal. When betrayals do happen, it means this person didn't do what I expected of them. And if they care about this relationship, they'll try to restore it, repair, and reconnect. That's one thing we teach in relationships. There's conflict in every relationship.
Yeah.
But conflict doesn't define the relationship. What defines it is how we deal with the conflict. And if that person comes back and says, hey, I'm sorry, I want to restore this. This is not who I was, and this is who I am going forward. Then it's going to take time, because trust is built over time.
Yeah.
That's why I work with parents of trying to establish trust at the beginning with their kid, because they will misunderstand you.
Mm-hmm.
We were all kids. We were all teenagers.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
they will misunderstand you. That's inherent. That is actually part of the journey.
Yeah.
How do we still stand by them, support them, and help them work through their stuff while we're trying to work through our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the quiet part we don't say out loud, but it is the part that we have to own. And that is, hey, we're trying to work through our stuff, and I'm going to help you as best as I can. It's not that I want my kids to have a better life than I do. I want them to manage stress better than I did, because there will be stressors that they will have to manage that aren't mine.
Right.
But that's what it is to be a parent. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
I answered many different things. I hope I satisfied the question.
Actually, you did.
Hold on 1 second, please. Hold on 1 second. Oh, my. You say actually I did?
Yeah, actually you did. Yeah, actually you did. You know, a lot of the things that you say, this is something that, like, I parent all three of my girls differently. Even my 32-year-old, I still parent her. I'm going to be her parent until the day that I leave this earth.
Yeah, until you don't.
And my middle one, the same way. She just turned 22 about a week ago. You know, so there is times that I have to show me who that I'm going through, that I'm not perfect. Does that make sense? That I'm not perfect. I myself learning. We learn something new every day. And I try to tell them, well, I don't try, I do. I tell and express that to them every day when I'm speaking to them, that it's something new every day that we learn. So even within your mistake that you make, what did you learn in that mistake? How do you embrace that mistake as being a tool for what you're going to do tomorrow, or, you know, or further on in life? So I do. I like that when holding space like that and being able to conversate with that. I like even the answer that you have about women being more crucial for me. I have transitioned through my life, coming into this new realm and this new form. For me, it's been amazing. It's been amazing for me. But to watch a lot of my fan base that was before to now, they're not understanding, and they're wondering, where did she go? The problem is, I've always been there. I just didn't know how to show up. I did not know how to show up as her. Do you understand that? Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in the work that I do, as an educator, the word educate means to bring forth. Like, I believe there's beauty in there, and I believe we're born whole, but our awareness is taken away from that wholeness. And I love how you said it was always there. Yeah, you didn't go anywhere. If anything, you went inside and you brought out what was there already. And you know what? That's not to say it was all there. It's always been there. I love how you said that.
Yeah. You know, now we're going to talk about the W. Well, as we looked at wondering,
always open up communication.
Okay. Open up. So matter of fact, I'm gonna let you go ahead and break the rest of it down. So we was at SHOW.
Okay.
Break it all down. Exactly.
O is open up communication. The quality of our life is directly related to the quality of our communication. And that means how we speak with others, as well as how we speak with ourselves. That's why I want to get to the question of how and why you named it Seasons of Self-Love. We'll get to that. I got questions for the host, you know what I mean? But O is opening up communication, because adolescents, they tend to clam up, or they tend to cocoon at this time, understandably. And actually we communicate with them differently at this time to be effective. It's going to be shorter conversations. It's going to be non-judgmental conversations where we lead with curiosity, so that we're creating a space for them to, when they do open up to us eventually, they know, oh yeah, this is a base where I can come to be authentically me. Because when they feel judgment coming at us, it's like, one definition of psychological safety is, can I be authentically me without fear of threat? And if you are the source of my threat, I'm not going to come to you. So that's open up communication. W is wonder and explore this world together, setting out to do projects that are long-term, that are self-directed. I've chosen this project. And this comes from Angela Duckworth's book, Grit. It's maybe learning a language, could be learning a hobby. For you, it'd be starting a business or a podcast. And that gives you a place to talk with your child about progress and what growth means. And then W is, UP is unveil your potential, which means celebrate. Celebrate. We don't celebrate each other enough. Like when you're living into who you are, when I said it starts with a strong identity, when I see evidence and examples of that virtues and values, it's just like, hey, that's like you. That's beautiful. Yeah.
I love that. I do. I love the whole thing. So I'm gonna go and answer your question about the season.
All right, I'm following you.
You know,
Talk to me.
Just going through my transformation. I've been out of the industry actively for almost 12 years, almost 13 years now. And in through that transition, I learned a lot about myself, spiritually, emotionally. I learned who I am, you know, even beyond the Nyomi Banks persona. But also, I've been very real and authentic with myself, knowing that I didn't know how to love myself. So how can I even teach anyone else how to love me? You know, when we say that self-love, it's more than just a self-love. It's like where, you know, here where I created this podcast is to kind of peel the layers of an onion. You know, you got onions and you got the different layers of it. And we're going to be forever healing. Self-love is about healing. I want people to know that. That's a part of the foundation of self-love is healing. So for me, since we're forever healing, the season never ends. So you know how people say I'm in my soft girl season or era or something like that. We're always in a self-love season. So self-love season is always, period. And yeah, that's where it came from.
You know what? Because I was thinking, I was like, season. I mean, does the season come to an end, or that's what I was thinking when I heard that seasons of love, self-love.
Right, and you know the thing is I have different series to each. Every month is a different series, and that takes us through to a whole new season. And I know, you know, some people think about you. What to say? You here for a season or not for a reason and not a season or a season for a reason. You know that saying right there. Right? Yeah. With self-love, we have to really kind of bring it all the way down. We got to tear it all the way down to the bare minimum, right there, even at birth. Yeah. Even understanding what it is that a lot of times that we even start to create who we are, or being created who we are in the womb, from the emotions of the mother, you know what I'm saying? From those things that unbeknownst to us is happening to us already. So when we do come out and we start to learn who we are, it's not from our perspective, it's from someone else's. So it's like, when do we start to learn who we are? That's why I love that you have this where you have with the parents speaking to the preteen to allow them or assist them to finding out who they are. Back in the day, when we were coming up, there was no way that we could find out who we were. We were who our parents said who we were and who we were going to be, you know. And what happens is it creates a lot of, you know, us broken and damaged adults. Probably like 98, 99% of us in this world are broken. I don't know if you're a minister, a priest, or a doctor, or whatever. Seriously, you know. And when I started to go through that for myself I started to fall in love with myself. I love myself unconditionally. I'm able to make myself accountable, self-awareness. When I say I be checking a sister, I be checking myself a sister. And you know, some people look like, wow, like she's really different. And it's like, yeah, I am different in the way that I just shine, because I'm sure of myself, but also I want a lot of other people to be sure of themselves. I want a lot of people to understand what loving is and loving yourself, because once you start to do and love yourself really, man, those words that people speak to you will change, because they know that they say that to her. I'm like, hold on, wait, there's something. Oh, wait, I'm getting. Ooh, you know?
It's a different vibe. Yeah.
I want some of that.
Yeah. You know, one line I have is, true beauty doesn't ask for attention. True confidence doesn't seek validation. because it knows it is.
Yes. Yes.
You said a lot there. Let me ask you this. What does love mean to you?
Ooh. What does love mean to me?
And I have an understanding, and I'm gonna share my understanding of what love means, and then I'm gonna tack on what self-love is, because I believe the same love that is directed in is the love that is directed outward. You are the universe experiencing itself.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand how to do this,
Mhm.
that creates a funky expression of this love out there.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm asking you, what does love mean? Because I want to gain like different perspectives of love. And I'm gonna share with you what I've learned along the way.
No, for sure. And there's a few words. First is truth.
Mhm. Okay.
Truth. And my truth is with my authenticity, with that.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is my vulnerability. My vulnerability. That means to be open. Just to be open
Sure.
to love. Courage. Love for me, courage, as well. And also is not seeking validation. And I'm gonna be honest. That's been, even though I went through the work, and this is where what I share with my audience all the time. Every day is not a perfect day. Some days you will go back to where you are seeking that validation, or you are seeking this from other people. The thing is that awareness, you are aware of those things. So for me, it is mine is truth, my truth, my authenticity, my courage. That's me. What my love means, because that means I can love another person the same way that I love myself. So that's even in the imperfections. You know what I'm saying? So my truth is my imperfections. My authenticities are my imperfections. My courage is loving myself regardless of my imperfections. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. Because you can't express love. I love that without opening up, without being vulnerable. But then it knows it's the fullness. So regardless of whatever received, like, no, I'm still love, which is, I say resilient. I say even love is stress progressive. Like if it's stress, it's like, no, I'm love. You can't do nothing to this. I am. So when I think of love, it's love is an action. Love takes the initial action for the well-being of something else. Oftentimes not expecting anything in return, but it takes the initial action because it's worth it. What love does, it sustains life, and it takes that action first, right? Now, putting that onto self-love, I'm taking this action for me because I'm worth it and for my well-being. Yeah. And I'm doing it because I'm worth it, not because I need anything else. It's because, and that's where it's self-fulfilling. It's no, I'm the fullness of this. Yeah. And when you can do that, you can express that out here, and regardless of where that love lands, if it's received or not, that sounds like a you problem. Right. But I know me right here. This is love, and you get it back. And you're right. When people experience it, you can't be what you can't see. So when they see it, they're just like, "Yo, that's dope." Okay, tell me about that. Tell me about that. Yeah. I'm preaching to the choir. Hold on.
We do that a lot here.
That's all right. We
do that a lot here. All right. So actually, we about to wrap it up. That's really
I'm on your clock.
we really, so as we wrap this up, is there what final piece of advice will you give our listeners on navigating their healing journeys from betrayal to particular in family settings?
One, I don't give advice unless I'm asked, just to be honest. And because I need to know context, one, and two, if the person is actually because I respect the wisdom that is with the person. Yeah. Okay. And I will talk with it. I'll talk with you through it to help walk you to where you believe you need. Now that said, betrayal, to be on topic with betrayal, I would say, man, this is a long topic. Life happens and we give it meaning. We could go through the same experience, but it means different things to different people. I know that some things that some people see as betrayal may not be betrayal to others.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who don't have your best interest in mind. We have discernment to figure out who they are. They're trying to satisfy what they believe are their needs. And it's how do we set boundaries to remove ourselves from that if we see those patterns? And how is it that we can see other people and not take it personal?
Mm-hmm.
Those are different skills that we need to build along the way. How do we pass those skills on to our kids as they're growing up? I think we share our stories without being preachy. I'm not forcing this on you, but this is why I believe what I believe. This is earned experience, and I respect you and your wisdom. That's what you're going to go through. But I'm giving this to you, so that you can. It's not, and we don't make it about us, but we make it relevant to what they're going through.
Right.
Really, what I'm talking about is just life. It is life, but when coming back to not to make it about you, but as you said, you lived in front of the public eye for so long, and that takes courage. And it's just like, because then people have a lot to say about your life. Is like, how do you actually shut that out and understand who you are? And how do you have that conversation of you figuring out life with? Now I think I'm just rambling, but to get back to the point of betrayal, it's just like, some people are going to betray you, some won't, and like, you don't take that personal, and it's just like, how can I soldier on? Not soldier on, but how do I find support for what I do need, and how can I be discerning of knowing those people who are for my good and those who aren't? And then how can I continue to not betray myself, trust myself,
Right.
and soldier on?
Right.
There are a lot of layers to this that we could speak on for hours and days and weekends. But you said one piece of advice. This is what I leave with your people. This is what I finally came to it after all of that. And this is actually what I do share when people ask me, is there one piece of advice you'd like to leave for parents that we usually don't touch on, but repair and reconnection. Everything that eventually grows must first break. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does it break from the, hey, watch that now.
What is happening over there?
Fireworks, that's what's happening. Now, does it break from the inside or does it break from the outside? That's the question. If it breaks from the outside, that's death. If it breaks from the inside, life emerges.
Mm.
I'm thinking of a cocoon. I'm thinking of an eggshell. Life is constantly emerging. Now, I said everything that eventually grows must first break. Then we're made stronger in the broken places. And what we do as parents is we show our kids how to repair and reconnect.
Yeah.
That is admitting when I'm responsible for that breaking. Yeah. Maybe that break of betrayal. Maybe that I fell short of my expectations. And then you say, that's not the person I want to be. Identity, remember, it starts with identity. That's not the person I want to be. I made it right. And this is who I'm committed to being going forward. That's repairing and reconnecting. Like I said, all relationships have conflict. That doesn't define the relationship. What defines it is how we deal with the conflict. Yeah. We repair and reconnect those relationships worth keeping. And always repair and reconnect the relationship right here.
Yep. Repair and reconnect people. We talked about that before, but you heard it once again. Yes.
Hey.
I love that. Well, you know what? Thank you. Is there anything? Are you got anything going on? Any books? Any?
I got life going on.
Come on, say it. You know, if it's something that you want, so people can really go out there and get this information. Because I mean, like you said, we don't have enough time to really touch base. That's why I made this a whole month-long series, because so much to to really get into it. But what do you have going on?
You know what? I am launching a new cohort to find case studies for the Show Up framework. So if you go to marcushiggs.com, you can reach out to me there if you want to work together. But then on LinkedIn is where I hang out. I'm not so much on other social media. Okay. You'll find me. But for professional work, reach out at marcushiggs.com. I have some workshops coming up in regards to identity. And then in regards to communicating with your preteen. He'll be there in a little while. Other than that, like, life is good. Like, what else do I have coming up? That's me. That's me. If you want to find me,
Yeah.
LinkedIn is where you catch me.
You know, as you were talking, I had, because we didn't
What's up?
speak. I want to speak on Black boys becoming Black men.
Hey, talk to me now.
And what does that conversation look like? And I want to just step back a little bit and
Okay.
just dip my toe in just one quick second with context. And I'm saying this because
Set the context, yeah.
Yeah, because there is now, I guess this 2025 or whatever product 2025, or that they are going to start to, and I want to make, because I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just things that I'm hearing with about single mothers. Single mothers,
Okay.
a big thing with single mothers and parenting little Black boys. Let's put it that way. For you, what have that looked like for you in counseling and having a communication between the parent and the single Black boys? What are the little Black boys in this day and time?
Okay, so thank you for bringing that up, because there's no meaning without context, and being Black in America is a whole different context from just any general context.
Yeah.
I did grow up, I'm in the Bahamas now. My dad's from the Bahamas. I went to school in Alabama, was born in California.
Okay.
And I do identify as American at times. At other times, I love you, America, but it's all right. I have been a Black male in America, and I've had those conversations. I want to first say we don't parent as individuals, we parent in pods. And that is to say, find the other people inside your child's life who they can trust, because you may not be able to give them everything they need. And I'm talking about two-parent families as well. I'm talking about, like, this is, as humans, we find our needs in different people.
Yeah.
And what your child does need is an understanding. Again, you can't be what you can't see. So try to find people who can actually bring an image of who you want them to become.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to, again, it's bringing an identity to that boy of, this is who you are, and this is who I see you becoming. And it is your choice, because one of the strongest, I wouldn't say reprimand, but when I was in the classroom with my fifth graders, one of the strongest things that I've learned was, when you ask a person, is this the type of person you want to be?
Mm.
And you don't say that from a place of judgment,
Mm-hmm.
but it's, I'm recognizing your authority in how you are going to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to choose who you are. Is this the type of person you want to be? Now, that said, again, hold them in high esteem, because there's a lot of America who's constantly trying to show them what their value is, where it's like, no, you're more than that.
Right.
At least, you know what? Other people might hold beliefs. Right here, if ever you forget that, I hold that belief for you. You're more than that. And I'm going to hold this belief for you until you believe it. Sometimes it's hard to do that, but I mean, again, I think I say it many times, this is life, but but life is beautiful like that, I think. What advice do I give them? Life supports those who support life. There's a support system for you out there. Hold them in high esteem. Put them in circles and communities where they are in high esteem. Places that are pro-social, and when I say pro-social, where they're actually working for the betterment of other people. Because I think that's one thing that, as males, that's what's creating the loneliness epidemic, if you will. We're not learning how to care for other people. Changing the conversation about what it means to be nurturing and masculine. It doesn't have to be binary. You can have both of those. There's a lot to say on that, Nyomi. But I hope some of that might help the single mother out there, and the other families out there, like anybody. Because you know what, Nyomi, what I do have going on, I went to an HBCU. I went to Oakwood College, Oakwood University in Alabama.
Okay.
And I'm working with my friend Emmanuel on creating a community for fathers to speak love and affirmation to their sons. Emmanuel, he's my best friend. He has a son, Lucas, and we're starting a podcast, and it's called Young Man, You Are Loved.
I love that.
So that is, you know what? Look out for that. Look out for that. I'm telling the audience now. And when it comes out, if I'm welcome back, I'll speak specifically on that topic.
Definitely. Yes, most definitely. You know, when you said that, I have loved one family members that they're much older now, but I know this is something that they needed to hear. There's something that they needed to truly hear, because as you said, for men, it's very hard for them to, I don't want to say love, but just show those emotions to someone else. Yes, it really is, because it's been taught to them, you know, that we're supposed to be hard. We're supposed to take care of the household, and that's it. That there is no loving, there is no connection that they have. And I'm not saying all, but that is the gist of what it is, you know, when it comes down to males, period, especially Black males. You know, so I'm glad that you and your friend are please share that. When you do, let me know, and I will blast it on out there. Really. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's what you said. The word vulnerable means open to be hurt. That's actually what vulnerable means. I'm able to be hurt. And oftentimes, male or female, however, the reason we shield or we close up is because we don't want to be hurt. And that's when we stop being vulnerable. But you cannot love without being vulnerable. You cannot expand and grow without being vulnerable. No. So it's when you understand I can be hurt and I'm bigger than that hurt. Yeah. I can alchemize that hurt. Yeah. Matter of fact, that hurt, I recognize it and I keep on moving. I'm expanding.
Yeah. Well, great job. This was good. This was good. All right. Well, again, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. And to my listeners out there, I want you to remember to check out Marcus's work on his website and follow him for more insights. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another enriching episode. So until then, keep embracing your journey with love and courage. All right. Thanks for joining us this season of Self-Love. Share, subscribe, and join us again. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovering and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.